Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran. Today I'm going to be doing a Virgo reading, the first of my astrology readings for the future, something I'm starting now. I usually stuck to twin flame readings and other kinds of messages from spirit, helpful guidance, things like that. Now, I actually already recorded this video, but for whatever reason it didn't save, so the cards are actually already laid out. I'm not going to do the video over again, so unfortunately you're going to have to trust that I pulled these messages in good faith, that I didn't just pick the random ones I wanted you to hear, because I would have picked better ones if I was going to lie. And I'm not like that anyway, so I hope that you guys will be okay with this. For now, usually I'll pull them in real time and you'll see that I'm not doing anything sneaky. But these are Virgo, so the way that I do these readings for all signs is going to be energy. We're going to start up here with the energy. We're then going to go into love, so it's going to be for singles and relationships alike. And then we're going to go into career and money at the bottom, which I'll show you in a minute, okay? So we're in a few minutes at the end. So these videos are going to be hopefully under 20 minutes. The last one was about 17, so this is obviously going to be much quicker since I've already pulled the cards, but usually they'll be between 15 and 20 minutes and updated hopefully either every other week or every month. I haven't decided yet, but for now this is going to be for the month of November for Virgo 2020. Okay, so we're going to start up here with the energy. We're just going to push these over to the side for now to focus in. So energetically, for Virgos this month, the first card that I had was the Eight of Pentacles. Now, for many of you, this talks about focus. Okay, now the focus comes in here. So a lot of you Virgos may be feeling like you are focused in the moment. You have something to focus on. So a little bit more determined, a little bit more cautious with your steps. Okay, now we know this because of this goat here. Now goats have a hard time. Or not a hard time, but they have to be very careful when they climb these steep steps, okay? It's one step at a time. So you Virgos are very much focused on your one step at a time attitude mentality right now. You guys are trying to be careful with probably your money, with your finances, with the way that you're going through the world. You're trying to be very careful, okay? So this is an energy of determination and focus, really like putting in the work, focusing on your skill and focusing on your craft as well. So a lot of you guys are probably thrown into whatever it is that you're trying to do at this moment, maybe some projects, some passions, things like that, and really trying to actually focus this time, because in the past you may have been disappointed with your own efforts and maybe not having received the rewards that you've wanted. After that, I got the Nine of Wands. So this talks about, Virgos having gone through a lot of shit. I'm a Virgo, so I can relate to that, especially this year. It was difficult, not just for me, for everybody. Certainly people have had it worse than I have. But the Nine of Wands talks about persevering, having to really move through like the shit to get where you are. So a lot of you might be feeling worn out, tired, maybe feeling like a porn star at the end of a long day at work, just fucking spent. And that's the energy of really like of what you guys may have been coming out of, and also what you kind of having to deal with still a little bit, like still having to persevere, still having to continue on. But there is advice and there is spiritual strength in that, about having to go through this shit and still maintaining some kind of semblance of self by the end of the day. So a lot of you guys are still continuing on, and there is this message of strength, of spiritual strength, of really persevering through all of this stuff. I mean, these are both kind of goats. I mean, one's a goat, one's a ram, but both of those creatures, which are similar enough for the analogy, have to deal with a lot of shit. They're both very tough creatures. So you guys are tough. Whatever you've been through has made you very, very tough. Okay, and that's a good energy to be in. Not necessarily one to experience life in, but it's a good energy to complete something. Okay, so you guys are nearing something. And then finally, we have the Seven of Swords. And usually the Seven of Swords is a very negative card in my opinion. However, I don't necessarily just read by the definitions. I go by intuition and the pictures, okay? And what we have here is we have the sun parting some clouds, and this meerkat sort of peering out here, right? So not hiding anymore. So usually the Seven of Swords has to do with being sneaky or stealing or theft or deception, but I don't think that it's so much like you guys are being really, really negative or sneaky around other people, not in the sense of manipulative narcissism, things like that. It's more about the about not hiding anymore. They kind of just stop like pretending to be somebody you're not, okay? Not wearing that mask anymore. So it's about really showing your true colors, like stop hiding. Like a lot of you guys, because you've been through this shit, you Virgos you don't want to hide anymore. You just want to be yourself. You want to express yourself and who you really are. So you don't want to hide behind the mask, whether this is humor or whether or not you know, don't want to be the compassionate, nice type. You know, that was always my problem, is I wasn't really connected to that feminine, and I always was compassionate and nice, but I was afraid of what that would mean, especially among other men. And so, you know, not wanting to hide behind that anymore, that certain kind of energy of just wanting to be yourself, stop lying, stop being dishonest. You really just want to come out of your hiding place and just be open, right? Just be in the sun and be expressive and be who you're really meant to be. So a lot of you guys are done hiding, okay? And that's a very great energy. And that's kind of what it takes sometimes. It takes going through the shit, having focus, you know, just kind of basically having this attitude of, well, I don't give a fuck anymore. I need to do what I need to do. And that's just it. That's final. It's just, now is the time in your life where it is kind of your way or the highway, to use the proverbial cliche. And that's great energy, because sometimes it does take that to get to this point. Okay, so let's move on to the love. Okay, and this is again for singles and people in relationships. We first have this Queen of Pentacles, this Earth energy. So this could be you, the female that's watching. It could be related to the gender. And this, if this is singles, what this means is feeling very independent. Okay, the Queen of Pentacles kind of is all right on her own. All right, she's fine. She is absolutely happy enough being focusing on her own worth, focusing on herself, focusing on comfort and security rather than being with anybody in particular. Okay, now, if this is in relationships, you have a very strong partner. If you're a man, you have a strong, committed relationship with somebody, and they're your queen. Okay, they're the person that is very strongly committed to you, and that's who you have. You have a loyal partner. And queens, of course, high court energy, right? So it is a very strong, reliable person. Now, after that, we have the Star card, and the Star card talks about healing. We have this lighthouse, which primarily, right, in real life, not that this is false life, but in reality, in the literal sense, lighthouses warn ships from the danger, right, of coming near them. And the pearl in the oyster here represents something valuable. Okay, so this talks about something valuable in the relationship, a deeper commitment of sorts, sort of moving away from danger, moving away from sort of the stormy cliffs, and having something valuable, having something beautiful. Okay, so the relationship, if you're in one, is actually becoming more committed. It's actually becoming deeper. It's becoming something of real value, something that you've put in time and effort and energy and money, even, of course, right? You can't have a relationship without spending money. And being having just the level of love and commitment deepen. Okay, now for singles, I think a lot of you are healing old wounds. Things are pushing out of your way. Again, because we have this energy up here, you guys probably been through shit, maybe had some toxic relationships that you're leaving behind, some energies and stuff like that. And so for you singles, it becomes about finding some healing in this time, okay, in this weird world right now, finding some real legitimate hope and faith in love and in self, and healing old wounds. And then, because after we have the Hermit card, now sometimes, or primarily, this card will talk about being alone, being separate from people, because it's sort of like an isolation card. But what I like about this particular deck and this card is that Praying Mantis has that element of faith, right? But it also has the sun up here, and it's sort of, I guess those are called antennas. I'm not a zoologist, so I don't particularly know. But we have the sun, so representing enlightenment. So for you singles, I don't think that it's mostly about you guys are meeting the one this month. I think it's about, and again, it's a general reading. Personal readings are available, but that's a whole different thing, right? General reading. So generally speaking, for most of you, this is about Virgos finally kind of releasing like the ex, or releasing the toxic person, or just finally finding what it is that you want, reaching this state of enlightenment. So it isn't necessarily about meeting the one, it's about realizing what it is that you want, knowing who it is that you want, and realizing and understanding who you are at the core, of what your values are, okay? And that's why you were single. So a lot of you are, singles are basically finally understanding your worth and preparing to meet the one this month, okay? I know some of you could, but I think a lot of you, generally speaking, this is coming into this energy of just knowing who you are, knowing what you want, preparing yourself for this final sort of, for this real relationship to come in, this real committed person, okay? And I see that, especially if you don't feel like you're the Queen of Pentacles. It's meeting a Queen of Pentacles like person. Now, if you're a woman, it's somebody who appreciates you as a Queen of Pentacles. First, you have to understand that for yourself. And if you're a man, it's about finding that earth sign or finding that compatible person that's committed and loyal to you. Okay. And then for people in relationships, it's about understanding that the person you're with is the one or not the one. It's about reaching the enlightenment, reaching the answer. So, but I think that for many of you in a relationship, or if it's sort of close to a relationship, it's about really understanding that they are actually the one for you and you've made a good choice. And that's where that enlightenment and that wisdom comes from the sun, which is where this praying mantis is reached to. Okay, it's reached the answers of the relationship. Okay, and a deeper relationships, again, taking on a deeper role, especially with the commitment, the groundedness, the star, the hope, the faith, and the answer. So all the relationships looking very positive. And for singles, positivity being outweighing any negativity, because even though you might not want to hear that, watching this, you might be single for the rest of the month. Maybe you really do want a partner. This is about finally understanding you don't need anybody, and that's really what does attract that energy into your life. Okay, because it's not about needing somebody, it's about wanting somebody, and that's two different energies entirely. So let's move on to the career and money, which is very good. And again, I normally would pull these cards in real time, but I'm not redoing the video. So the first card that I pulled for you guys is the Fool card. This talks about a clean slate, a beginning, a leap of faith, something new and fresh coming in for you guys, okay? The Fool in career has to do definitely with some kind of new job, new opportunity, something completely different than what you've ever been used to, okay? So a lot of you are finding work through unexpected means this month, okay? And then finally we have the last two cards, but we have this Page of Wands. So this is a really welcome card because it means that a lot of you who have been waiting on something is finally coming in. Maybe you submitted your portfolio, maybe the resume, the application, maybe it was months ago, maybe you're waiting on some monies, a check or something like that. Maybe you did the amateur porn casting and you're like waiting for that call. Whatever it is, you're getting it, right? It's good news finally coming your way. And the salamander, which I think this is what it is, salamanders aren't very quick, and they certainly take their time doing things. And so this is about, the Page of Wands has always been that kind of energy. It comes in very slowly, but when it does, it's always welcome news. It's something very good. So the page finally bringing you that news after a long period of time. So a lot of you guys are getting that job or that money that you really want. I think for a lot of you, it has more to do with job and career than it has to do with just straight up money. But it's, again, general reading. Queen of Cups now talks about the fulfillment. Okay, now I don't know if you know this, but moose, or meese, if you ignore all of the English grammar, actually swim in water. They can go beneath the surface because that's where the best vegetables, the best things. I guess they don't eat vegetables. I doubt they're getting broccoli down there, but the best things they eat, the best greens, let's say, that's where the best foods are, the most nutrients. Okay, they're at the bottom of the lake where they swim, or the ocean, wherever they're fucking swimming. I don't know. I don't study moose, but I am in Canada, so maybe I should. But anyway, it is the emotional fulfillment, though, okay, because it's a metaphor as well. It talks about being emotionally fulfilled. So this talks about a career, a job coming in to finally give you guys what you want, because you may have had careers and jobs that were, maybe not even careers, just jobs that were unfulfilling. I can definitely relate to that. And it's just been a pain in the ass to have to constantly deal with that. And because they just weren't, they may have paid you, but they weren't fulfilling you. They didn't make you feel happy. So finally, we have this new opportunity, this new job coming in, a completely clean slate, something very new. And then this Page of Wands, so it's been a long time coming, but it is going to be this unexpected sort of like, oh, finally here it is, right on your doorstep, right? The email, the letter, the phone call, the Zoom meeting, whatever it is, it's finally coming in, and it is going to actually make you very fulfilled, make you very happy. Okay, and we do have two queens in this reading, which means paying attention to female friends, females, because they may be the ones to help you, or may even be from a female that offers you this job, or the money. Okay. So that's the Virgo reading. Again, it would be slightly a little bit longer because I would normally pull the cards, but that is the reading. That's how it's usually going to be: energy, love, career, money. And again, it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not, we'll read it the same. And I think that I'm going to keep them for now at least once a month, but we'll see how it goes. I might throw some weeklies, and as I get more in the groove and swing of things, I might throw some advice cards out there. And I keep these decks here to see what, for you guys to see which decks I use. And I also always recommend this book to people. Fuck It, Be at Peace with Life, just as it is. It's a series of books. I've read two of them. The other one, I think I lent somebody to help them out. But there's maybe about 4 or 5 of these books, and I've found them to be incredibly helpful. You might not be able to see it because it's a laptop camera, not the greatest, but his name's John C. Parkin, and a very, very helpful book in my opinion, much more helpful than any spiritual text that people, traditionally spiritual text that people have recommended to me. I found this book much more helpful than, for instance, The Power of Now. As much as I thought The Power of Now was accurate and truthful, it wasn't really what I needed. And I resonate mostly with humor. So this is kind of a funny book. So that's just my suggestion, and all the other stuff is there if you ever want to know what kind of decks I'm using. And I will use more in the future. So anyway, guys, that's it for now. All my details about services and stuff are in my description box, but sparing you any self-promotional nonsense. I will just leave that there for you guys if you're interested, and I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll talk soon next time I do a Virgo reading. All right, guys, have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.